Now, we're going to start taking some questions from the audience. I'm going to start off, though, with one which we've received online. So get you prepared and warmed up. We've got a couple of microphones, I think, so please put your hands up. I'm going to put this one to you, Stephen. We haven't got any details about the type of business, but I'm assuming that we're talking about a small business, probably with a product. Mandy, you might have your thoughts on this. It's clearly a product-based business. Early stage business struggling to find providers for small quantities production, in other words, small scale production. Like packaging, what should we do? When you're a small player and you haven't got any influence with the packaging business or the printing business or whatever it might be, but you want to get your product out into the market, any thoughts on that?
Well, you can mock up packaging very convincingly, enough to satisfy a buyer. For our current product range, we're going for a sort of thermoform element, and the company that is doing that actually came to us, and he said he didn't know that we were doing new products. He knew about the AnywayUp Cup, and he said, "Oh, just like to introduce myself." And the conversation went, "Oh, that's nice. So what do you do?" And he explained, and I said, "Well, that's interesting." He said, "What we can do? We can mock something up. We can actually produce something for you, which is a real thing. It's the actual thing, and if we satisfy your requirements and you're happy with it, then we hope that you'll come with us and use us for your packaging." So those first packs were actually free. It didn't cost us a bean, which is very nice.
I mean, yeah, another thing you can do is, to answer that question, is what I call tack on. What you can do is you can find someone else. You go to a packager, and ask them the question, have they got a run at the moment on packaging that's similar to what you're doing? Yeah. Maybe the fold spaces are different or whatever. And you can often tack on, you can design your packaging that's similar in dimension and everything to the packet that's being produced for someone else. And they might have a run of 10,000 pieces. And because that machine is tooled up for that size, you can tack on your, I don't know how small this business is, but let's assume it's very small, and they want to tack on 50 or 100, probably do that for pence. Yeah. You know, especially if you convince the packager, the manufacturer, that you're going to be able to provide bigger orders later if they can help you now. Because they've got the tool. Just adjust, you know, if you think your packet's going to be 6 inches by 9 inches by 4, and theirs is not quite those dimensions, go with them. Yeah. The important thing is to get that packaging done.
It's great advice, and it's all about, and going back to your points about offices and cars and the like, it's a buyer's market right now.
Absolutely.
So, you know, deals like that might be on offer. Let's take some questions from the floor. How about the lady here, 4 rows back? Thank you.
Hi, I'm kind of on the same tack about image, as it were, if you like, about cars and stuff. I recently did a course, and the teacher was very adamant that sole trader status isn't a good thing. It lacks credibility, and you really need to up your game quite quickly from that status. Do you agree with that? Because it puts me in quite a quandary, and I worry about it, and I don't know really.
It's a good question. And Kate, after Stephen.
Go on,
No, you go. Stephen, go
first. Sorry, Kate. My answer to that is I don't think sole trader or limited company status matters. I think that it matters from your point of view for protecting your goalmouth. It matters so that the limited company stops, you know where you are. If you put 500 or £1,000 into your limited company and you only do, that's your buffer. Whereas as a sole trader, you leave yourself open to a number of problems. Even someone might have premises and someone trips and you don't have the right public liability insurance, being sued. Better that that business is owned by a limited company, that's your buffer. So, but from a present, I understand where you're coming from a sort of making it, this goes back to my days as a 15-year-old sparsely moustached schoolboy trying to flog that, you know, it's not always about whether you're chairman of the board or whether it's you. Your business is you. And I don't think it matters whether you're a sole trader or whether you are a limited company from that perspective, not from an image perspective. You know, the way you present yourself, the way you present your product or service, and the way you present your business matters.
Yeah.
That would be.
Kate.
Yeah, absolutely. So, oh, that's good. Yes.
That was easy. Great.
Yeah, but no, it's about doing a good job, essentially. So I think I'm going through all the faff of setting up a company at the moment, actually, and it's taking an awful lot of time and energy to do it. And so that's energy I could be putting into doing a really great job. So actually I don't regret at all spending my time on just impressing people so they come back again. And no one really asks questions, actually, about it. So, yeah.
No, I mean, this is... Can I just say very briefly?
Please.
The thing people forget about limited company status is why it was there in the first place. It was set up to encourage entrepreneurs to invest in 16-something.
Yeah.
I know someone on Twitter will tell me it was in... I'm 20 years out or something. But, you know, it was set up to protect and encourage entrepreneurs to invest whilst not ending up losing their home or other assets. So it enables you to decide how much you're prepared to gamble. But it also enables the credit reference agencies to see how much you're prepared to gamble. If you've got a limited company worth 100 quid and you then are going to... so they know that it's 100 quid. So sometimes sole trader can have a better status report because you yourself would get a better status report probably than newly created limited company.
That's an interesting point.
So it's something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I was going to throw in is occasionally if you're wanting to get onto the preferred supplier list,
absolutely, then
you are going to need a bit more substance to, you know, what you look and feel like. But your point about credit references.
Yeah, it's an important thing. I mean, to remember, I mean, you can set up a PLC, a closed PLC, for £12,500. And what that does basically is you formed a company that's cost £12,500. It tells anyone you're dealing with that there's £12,500 somewhere that they can get their hands on if it all goes wrong. Whereas with a £100 limited company, it's 100 quid. And if you've only made £2 of that paid up shares, it's 2 quid. So, you know, whereas you yourself are saying as a sole trader, well, this is me. But you are leaving yourself vulnerable at that point. It's just to be remembered. That's, you know, it's just something to think about.
Great. Thank you. Good questions as starters. Why don't we take that lady's question there and then the gentleman here.
Hi. I'm asking this question on behalf of my sister, which Stephen, you know, Alice, who runs a luxury lingerie business from home called Berger. You were saying about not having overheads. She's working in the shed, exactly what you've advised, but she's come to the point where she'd like to take on a summer intern, and also some people would like to come and have fittings with her, and she's embarrassed, obviously, to have this intern with her in the shed, so is avoiding taking someone on, but doesn't want the overhead. So what would you advise in those situations where you need to have a more formal working space?
My initial reaction would be to get over your embarrassment and have the thing in the shed. I'm sure your dad won't be happy about that, but I think the big thing is that to still keep those overheads low. Dress the shed up and get an entrance somewhere else until you get sales. The key to business is sales. With no sales, you have no business. You have to sell. So, you know, I do understand you're taking on an intern and someone else. It's very difficult. I had someone recently ask me this question, and they had an office in their garden. But you had to go through the house. It was a terraced house. That's difficult because you want to go away. And so if you can get an entrance to that shed from another position and dress the shed up like an office and make it more glamorous, I don't see any why the intern should be worried. Your customers might be something else to consider. And maybe what you would do is look at possibly renting something on a daily basis as or even if you're in a village hall or something, or whatever it might be, where you could have a fitting on a particular day. So you allocate a day, let's say a Tuesday, and that's your fitting day. So you do all your business from the shed, costs you not very much, and then you go and do your posh stuff from somewhere with your customers. And that's my advice. My advice would still be keep your overhead low for as long as you can. Do
you think there's something in this about also who you're trying to present to?
Yeah.
There's no doubt that corporates, they like the reassurance of dealing with
consistency.
That somebody, an entity that feels a bit kind of posh, to use your word.
Yeah, I think organised is a better word.
Yeah.
They like to feel you're organised. And I don't think, I mean, I don't think necessarily they worry about where you're operating, as long as you're organised. Okay. Returning calls, returning emails, ringing them up, being proactive is far more important than where you operate from. But you can rent something that is posh, but, or, is better presented, that isn't necessarily a fixed overhead.
Yeah.
Going taking somewhere, and sometimes people take inappropriate things. I mean, we had we didn't invest in the end. We looked at very closely a business that didn't work. It was to do with home improvements. And the guy was operating a major home improvement, well, not major, but a regional home improvement business from a serviced office right at the top, all very he had scaffolders and deliveries, and this is inappropriate. Go to an industrial estate.
Yeah.
You don't need all that. He said, I need all this posh office. No, you don't. You're selling cladding, plastic cladding.
Yeah.
You don't need a posh office.
Gentleman here. And there's the microphone for you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
Just in relation to, if you've got a good idea for a product and you're going to need some outside expertise to develop that product to make it patentable, but how do you protect that idea until it is patentable? I know there is non-disclosure agreements, but they tend not to be very good sometimes.
Yeah, it's a very... sorry, who's
going to... Well, no, you go, Stephen.
No,
I know Mandy will want to
let Mandy go.
I think the thing to do is to get yourself a very good non-disclosure agreement. You can always put in a patent application and then pull it so that you could have not particularly good application, but you're pulling it before it ever gets published, so you can resubmit. But at least that would give you a little bit of protection. But I think the thing to do is perhaps to choose your partner or whoever it is that you're going to with great care, because you want somebody who you can trust, who's going to work with you and develop your idea. You want them to be fully on board and committed to it. I think that if you see the whites of their eyes, you'll know whether they're going to rip you off or cheat you. It's different. I think at the stage where you're just developing something, that's a safer spot to be in than taking a fully developed product to somebody if you're offering a license, let's say. So if you go and see a company in the same, like if I was to go and take one of my products to, say, Avent or to Tommy Tippy or somebody like that and say, here's my prototype, it's been developed, do you want to take a license? That's when you're at a lot of risk, because that's when you get ripped off. I don't think you're going to get ripped off by the people who are going to help you develop it.
It is very difficult. It is very, because there are so many copies and scams and people out there now, and it's difficult to protect an idea anyway.
Sorry, there is something called creative barcoding.
Oh, yeah.
That might be worth looking at, and that's a way of protecting exactly that, protecting an idea.
Put it into Google.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Great.
That's a good point.
Thank you. Okay. There's a lady here with a question, and then a gentleman at the back.
Yes, I wanted to ask about sales, because I started my business a year ago, and I'm a big fan of my business and my service, and it's really interesting and very unique, and I get a lot of very positive feedback. Still, I find it really difficult to sell it, not because people are not interested, is because I've got this major hurdle of wanting to sell. And it was really nice to listen to you, Stephen, talking about how much chutzpah you had going up to this bloke having a fag, and I just can't. And for the ladies, the question as well.
In a nutshell, what is the business?
I'm doing a venting offloading service, and people can buy 5 or 10 minutes and come and have a scream and a shout over the phone. And
okay.
And I've got big plans for the business, and I've spoken to quite a lot of business advisors and get a lot of positive feedback and put loads of money. Sorry?
Okay, go on.
Put loads of money into developing the idea and packaging it properly with the website and branding and everything. I just really feel so uncomfortable about the selling part of it. And I just wanted to also ask the ladies of, okay, what's the magic formula of, okay, get over yourself?
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. And go on, Kate, if you're a reluctant salesperson.
Well, have you tried press releases and things?
I'm so scared of journalists, and they even come to me, and I even find that kind of...
Okay, because try writing a press release. You can write it yourself and just ping it off to a lot of journalists. And you don't, honestly, if they like it, you don't even need to follow up with them. They'll just get in touch with you. So, and it sounds such an amazing thing. I think loads of people would really like to write about it. So it's just making them aware that it's there, essentially. So that's how I began as well, just having a really interesting, different product, and it goes after that. So that's all you need.
Stephen, thank you.
Well, yeah, you seem to have a great personality. I don't know why you're worried. But what you can do is maybe think about running your business and having someone else do the sales bit.
Yeah, you see, this is when you were talking about having to manage. I would be really good at managing him selling it, but I'm not good.
No, well, that's the thing. Do the management and let someone else do that. You know, there are different people for different jobs in life. Not everyone fits every job. Yeah. I mean, I hate paperwork. I do it. I'm not bad at it these days because I force myself to do it, but I hate it. I want to go out and do a deal somewhere, and I don't want to do the paperwork. It's boring. Yeah. He does it.
Let's take that question, the gentleman at the back. Have you got the microphone?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Good evening. My name is Nick Nair. I'm a trainee salesman with
He's a trainee
Flavor Dash.
salesman.
And if I don't come there and give you my little product, my boss is going to sack me, if I may, please.
I've heard that one before.
Well done. Well done. Excellent. Down he comes.
I did like that very much.
There you are, Steve.
Thank you.
That's a sauce made by my wife, and we've been marketing it for about 8 months now. And the
Flavor Dash. I'm sorry, I will need glasses.
And the idea of giving it to you, if ever you come across anyone or anyone you know who might need, or who I need a partner or a funder, please direct him to me, please.
You've got your salesman.
And what I was doing is, I took my card out, canceled director, then put sales training, but I didn't bring it down. Thank you very much.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
And what's your website? Let's tell the people online.
No,
I was just about to broadcast it online. And
it's under construction at the moment. So
okay.
It's Flavor Dash.
Flavor Dash. Flavor Dash.
Now,
well done. You heard it here first.
Straight down the stairs. That's good.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well done. Great. There's a question here. Yes, we've probably got time for just. Are we okay? One more. Yes.
Hi, my name is Esther J. I'm particularly interested in your first steps if you were going to go international. What did you do? How did you decide? And what did you avoid?
Right.
Okay. Before you take that on, I'm going to just, because we are pressed for time and we are webcasting and therefore we have time limits, take that one and then a final one for you, Mandy, if you wouldn't mind, about marketing the AnywayUp Cup. We've got somebody online saying they have a post-patent pending. It's a 2-in-1 reusable postal envelope.
Do you want to answer that one first?
Well, I was going to give Mandy a bit of time to think about one. I wasn't going to give you any time.
Right. Thank you. Okay. The question about going international. So you have a business that you're trading in the UK, and you now want to develop it internationally. Is that what the question is? Okay. First of all, going international. One of the things you've got to bear in mind, if your main language is English, I would always look for an English-speaking country to go international with. It's easier. Just easier communication-wise. If you've got other languages, then great. Or you've got someone that works with you with other languages. You've got to remember that, this great thing, a lot of people always think, I've got to get into the States. That's it. If I get into the States, I'm on the way to a Learjet. The problem is, Americans and I've got a lot of American friends, the marketing can eat you alive. They're not just going to say, oh, great, you know, we've got this fantastic new flavour dash, and that's great. They're going to say, we've got 350,000 of these, and we're going to attack your product. So you do have to be careful. First thing is to go over and explore the market and make sure there is a market for your product wherever you want to target. And try to make sure initially that you understand the language you're going to move into. Don't move into a country where the language is totally different. Going somewhere where they have a completely different structure, different laws, it's tough. It's tough enough marketing in the UK or whatever international border you're in without going international too early. And don't go too early. Right. Make sure you're well structured in the UK before you go abroad.
It's actually, I think it's, well, we found it's easier to get international distributors because I find that people only really do well in their own backyard. So rather than trying to do the whole world, better off to find, if you want somebody in Spain, find somebody who in Spain can do it for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well, I am getting the signals that we'll try and take the question about marketing online maybe afterwards, Mandy,
sure,
if that's
sure,
okay.
Okay,
We'll pick it up. So reassurance to Chloe Titcombe, who's sent the message through. Unfortunately, time has flown. It's been great fun. Before we close, the Innovating for Growth programme, there are, those of you watching online, there are leaflets outside, so please have a look. Really, this is designed, as Francis said before, for early stage businesses that are established but which have a strong plan for growth. And the Business and IP Centre really is in a position to support those businesses. And, with the likes of Mandy and Chloe and particularly Stephen behind them encouraging small businesses, then it's a fantastic place to build your business. So I just want to say thank you to all of you for coming, everyone watching online. Big thank you to Kate, big thank you to Mandy, but I hope they won't mind me saying a huge thank you to Stephen for taking on this role and for being so honest and so direct with all your answers. Thank you all.